another this year.
Is marijuana being cultivated on government land?
Yes, the cultivation occurs on public as well as private land.
How much? Do you have any idea?
I can prepare
Could
a
you
report
provide it for the record?
Yes, ma'am.
Has Jamaica agreed to spray the marijuana?
Yes, Jamaica has agreed to
When will it begin?
Again, they have begun an eradication program, not a spray program. And as for the number of hectares that have been eradicated, again, if I could, I would like to
Provide
finish
that
that
for the record, please. I'm disturbed with the accuracy or the reliability of the narcotics production estimate reports delivered to the Congress. This may be a question for Mr. Thomas, but in the 1983 Narcotics Intelligence Estimate, Mexico was estimated to be producing 1,300 metric tons of marijuana. In 1984, the government of Mexico seized and destroyed 10,000 metric tons. During the same time period, the Mexican government had forbidden the DEA from verifying their crop eradication. Is that true?
There was a prohibition on the DEA personnel becoming actively involved in the ground truthing, in the verification. However, in recent discussions with the government of Mexico, they have agreed to allow DEA to participate in ground truthing.
Have we done an aerial survey for Mexico?
No, an aerial survey has not been done.
Why not? Do I ask the State Department?
Well, I'm sorry I don't have that answer, but I will
I'll find out.
furnish that answer for you.
Did the DEA learn anything from the Camarena kidnapping that would be helpful if, God forbid, it ever happens again?
Well, certainly in regard to our personal security, we issued instructions again after the abduction of Special Agent Camarena, but these were instructions which had been issued earlier and had to be reinforced because of the unfortunate abduction of the Special Agent. In addition to what we learned about personal security, I think we also learned that perhaps the corruption factor, specifically in Guadalajara, was a lot greater than we had anticipated.
Did we learn anything by closing down the border? Not closing it down, I don't like that expression. Did we learn anything by being more thorough in our searching of automobiles that came into this country?
We certainly learned that based upon the intensified search that the government of Mexico, we think, took more action to work with us on the abduction of the Special Agent Camarena than they might have taken had that not occurred.
Isn't all the money we spend for drug eradication and law enforcement wasted if we don't have the cooperation of the Mexican government and the Mexican police?
I don't think so. I don't think it is wasted because even with the problems that we are facing in Mexico, and we are facing increasing problems in Mexico, when DEA developed the information about the area of new cultivation, we didn't get an initial response, but when we brought it to the highest authorities in Mexico, we did get a substantial response. The marijuana was seized, was destroyed, the campesinos who were imprisoned were freed. So I don't think that our efforts in Mexico are fruitless.
But we haven't arrested anyone for the murder. They haven't arrested anybody for the murder.
Not at this point.
I know you have to go in about 5 minutes. I appreciate your staying. Senator Metzenbaum has joined us again. He has questions for you, I'm sure.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Mr. Lawn, tell me what the other agents are thinking, doing, saying vis-a-vis the whole question of their own security as a result of this most recent happening.
Concerning their own security, I would have to say that we're in the law enforcement business. We would not accept this profession without being aware that there are risks to be taken and risks that we must take. There was a considerable concern about threats in Colombia, for example. I personally traveled to Colombia and spoke to each of our people assigned to Colombia in order to elicit from them a feeling about their desire to stay in what was a situation where there was some personal risk. The response was overwhelmingly in favor of their doing the job that they were sent to do. I have found the same thing with the personnel in Mexico. I can't tell you how many calls I have received personally from agents around the country, indeed agents around the world, who have volunteered to go to Mexico to take the place of Special Agent Enrique Camarena to get the job done. So while we are concerned for our own safety, our overwhelming interest is in getting the job done, and safety is only a small factor to be weighed.
That speaks extremely well for your agents, their courage as well as their dedication to their jobs. But my question also has to do with our responsibility and for their safety. And it seems to me, and I'm not knowledgeable in this area, and that's the reason I'm asking you the question. A lone agent or 2 agents in Guadalajara, 3 agents, 4 agents, small arms, not nearly the kind of arms that the drug traffickers can make available to their own people, come up in an automobile with much stronger weaponry, probably more personnel than we have in an area. How do we provide that security? Bravery is one thing, courage is in the same league, but I'm concerned as to how you stop this kind of thing if the leaders in the drug trafficking arena are determined to take one or more of our agents out.
I too am concerned, Senator Metzenbaum, and I think the important thing is that we in 42 foreign countries are the guest of the host government. We must expect that the host government will supply the security that we believe is necessary in order for us to perform our function. If that is not the case, and it has happened in several countries where this security could not be provided, then it is the determination we must make that since the security cannot be provided, we cannot keep people in a given country.
And are there some countries now that you're not satisfied with the security that's being provided?
Yes, there are. We, for example, even in Colombia, with all of the support we're getting in Colombia, there are certain areas of Colombia where we are not satisfied that our personnel will be secure, and we have moved them from the smaller offices, the 1 and 2 person offices, to areas where we know they will continue to work at least in pairs.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. I hope you at least give directions to change their habits. It seems that Mr. Camarena was very predictable. He went every day to the same place or periodically the same place for lunch. It seems to me that that would be a new order that would come out of your department to not be so predictable, because I know in Colombia, for instance, I'm told that the current going price to kill anybody is $50, 50 US dollars. So if you have that kind of mentality in a violent society, we can't be too careful of our people. We're there to help them, and they're helping us in Colombia, even though the threat's so great.
Yes, I would like to say that the important thing, the weekend that Mr. Mullen traveled to Guadalajara, his first stop was to talk to Mrs. Camarena, to Mika, and Mika said, "Mr. Mullen, you have to promise me, if nothing else, don't make my husband a number." I think that the concern that we see on the part of this committee, on the part of the members of Congress, that will not be the case, and I think that's very critical to the security of not only DEA personnel around the world, but the United States citizens around the world.
I introduced legislation last week to give $100,000 reward to anyone that gives us information in any country that would lead to the arrest of the perpetrators of the crime. Would that be helpful to you?
I have not read the language of your request, but when I
If it's any more complicated, I'll rewrite it. It comes out of the, if you're under budgetary restraints, we took it out of the drug seizure assets. So there's no net cost to you, to your agency.
I think that that would certainly verbalize the message that our personnel are important, and that we as a country will not tolerate attacks against our people.
We appreciate your serving in this administration. You really have been helpful to work with, and in our war against drugs and drug abuse, it's encouraging to have such capable, competent, dedicated people at the head of these two vital government agencies. The report itself is a remarkable document. I've read it several times. I recommend it to all the senators. I agree with some things. I have some problems with some others, as you and I have discussed. But it shows how much work we have to do, and I think it demonstrates vividly that we are making progress, not necessarily all the same percentage in every country. But I will tell you that the American mothers and fathers are disturbed. They'd like some domestic tranquility. Pakistani mothers were rioting when I was there. Colombia women, the mothers rioted after Justice Lara's death and said they wanted justice. I believe you have the emotion and the tremendous effect that will come from families demonstrating to you that this is enough. We've had enough. We want to control this, and we certainly do. Thank you greatly for serving.
If I could mention, Madam Chairman, at a prior subcommittee hearing, a subcommittee which you chair, we had discussed our education program involving the high school coaches. So effective has this program been that 6 foreign countries have asked us for that background material so they can initiate such a program.
That really is rewarding to hear that. I've been to all the drug-producing countries, and the second thing they ask for after your cooperation and the State Department's cooperation is a copy of our education materials, which we have submitted to all countries in their language. If it works here with comic books, etc., it works with sports. We felt it would work with soccer or whatever the sport is in their country. I commend your department for having such good materials. It's really refreshing to be able to help in education, which is part of this committee's responsibility as the full committee, as well as enforcement. And they may submit it in the next 24 hours, Senator. Thank you.
A little unclear from your statement. Are you calling for a cutoff of aid to both Bolivia and Mexico?
I'm doing Bolivia, considering what to do about Mexico.
If you want to cut off in Bolivia, definitely.
Where's the bill?
not going
He
through.
works in the State Department.
Right,
He
and
works for
he's
me.
not making
He
any
works